This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
Sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. I am your host, covering everything sport, international and local. What do I have in store for you today, Murad? I'll tell you. Right, before today, I was starting to think about, I got a couple of things I wanted to discuss with you. And there were so many things, including, the World Cup star that got released after 5 months in jail. Harry Maguire goes to jail. And I also had a transfer special. And the segment that I had was, what are your goals in the current norm? Are we achieving them 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? And then Messi happened. Messi happened and the whole world went crazy. Everyone started talking about Messi wanting to leave Barcelona. And for that reason, it became topic of not just conversation, topic of the world. I also have to give a special shout out and a happy birthday to Super Mario from Pulse 95 for always hooking us up behind the scenes with all the good stuff. Now, saying that, once Messi happened, then I thought to myself, how am I not going to talk about Messi when everyone's talking about Messi? So this is what we're going to do today. I'm still going to talk about the things we decided to talk about, but I am going to try and break down what Messi could do and where he's heading to next on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. I'm your host, covering everything sport, international, local. Hope you're having a blessed day wherever you're tuned in around the world, whether it's 95 FM, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority app, live on YouTube, Pulse 95 Radio, or even if you're chilling, listening to us on the podcast on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Anghami. Right, let's get stuck into this. I wasn't planning to talk about Messi today. And then yesterday happened. He handed in that transfer request. There was a lot of people talking about how it was done. It was done by fax. That's right, old school, but apparently in Spain, that's a normal thing. So he handed that in by fax to have it documented. Now let's break down the procedure of what's happened. The elections have been happening and Bartomeu has resigned, although in March, he would have been released anyway. So is this a ploy to keep Messi at Barcelona, or does he want out? Now, let's break down a few things. How much is going on the table? 700 million release clause for Messi to leave. That's the first thing. The second thing is that would have been executed normal cases. This year and this season has not been a normal case. Messi has something in his clause that expired in June before the pandemic hit that said if he wished to leave the club, he would leave then and there. Now, due to the league being extended, he has now applied for an extension on that to be able to let him go. Physically, Messi is someone who I believe, in my opinion, can go for another 2 years. Within those 2 years, we've got the World Cup coming up. Another thing is, we have to question, where would he go? 4215, Itasalat or slide into the DMs at Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95 Radio and let me know, where would Messi go if he wants to leave Barcelona? Now, we know he's handed in a transfer request. The other thing you have to consider before we start throwing out big names, the club, the coach, and the players need to be built around Messi in order to adapt to a system that he has only been used to one way. Now, who can afford 700 million euros release clause if Barcelona try and play hardball? That is the question. The other thing is, when you look at the obvious teams, PSG were very, very close to winning the Champions League with Neymar and Mbappe. However, to get Messi in, they're going to have to let players go. People like Di Maria, who's been quite consistent recently for PSG, Draxlers, all these people, you say that's easy, it's not. You have to get them off the books and have someone to buy them. The other thing, we're talking about Inter Milan. Inter Milan, especially, would he want to play for Antonio Conte? That's another deal. If we're talking about Juventus, Andrea Pirlo has just come to Juventus, and at the same time, is he someone that can manage characters? We don't know because he doesn't have experience. Manchester City, a very, very obvious one, I hear you say, with Pep Guardiola. However, with the court case that has just been taken off the books now, do they want that kind of attention on there, especially with the players that they have? Will he fit into the system of Pep Guardiola, or will Pep Guardiola change the whole system to adapt to Messi? Now, let me take you back for a couple of things. Messi gets reportedly £988,000 a week. His image rights is 9.1 million a year, 13 million a year on bonuses, and 122 million over a year on extended rights. So, what has he done to earn this? 731 games, 634 goals, 285 assists. Is he worth it? So I'm asking you that question. With everyone talking about the different managers and coaches and players and systems, where is Messi going to end up? I'm going to take you back to a certain player who was playing for Chelsea. And he was one of their main players for 10 years. He left to go to the US. When he went to the US, the season was off at specific times. He came back to England and played for Manchester City. So, let's throw this out there. How about Inter Miami, who have been linked with anyone who's big in the football industry? Inter Milan pay Messi to come over, which could be like a retirement plan. However, for the next year to 18 months, they loan him out. And the money that's made off the shirts will seal the deal for that transfer alone, because in 1 week, I guarantee you the whole world will be getting a Messi jersey from wherever he actually signs. Frank Lampard did that with Chelsea. He left Chelsea and no one ever thought he could go anywhere else but Chelsea, and he went to New York. When he went to New York are linked to Manchester City. As he came back, he played for Manchester City in his last year before going back to the US. Could Messi be doing that for Inter Miami or even for New York? Now, this is all speculation at the moment. Messi hasn't actually come out with a direct statement, but everyone is wondering where he's going to end up. The other link is having a dream team of Cristiano Ronaldo. Shout out to Big Hass, who sent me that message a while ago and said to me, could this actually happen? If you think about it, no one is talking about that now. Everyone's talking about how you're going to break a contract. The way you break a contract is to have someone sign it, and then you can be loaned back out of it in order to play for the team of your dreams. But what does Messi want to do? It doesn't matter what we're speculating. Does he want to be challenged? And does he want to win a Champions League? Bayern Munich have just won the Champions League, so realistically, anything but that puts him in a very difficult situation as a failure, considering they just won it. PSG were one step away. Is that realistic, knowing that they already have huge wage packages there with Neymar and Mbappe and Di Maria and all those players? Will they be able to bring him on board, especially under the owners? Manchester City, as we said, were under a lot of speculation, and now we are talking about 7 clubs who are interested in buying them. Manchester United fans, I hear you talking. Would you think that Lionel Messi would end up at your club, and why would he join your club? Manchester United are trying to win the Premier League first. We know there's levels to this game, and looking at that, will Messi want to come to England to win a Premier League, or will he want to add a Champions League onto his mantelpiece, which, by the way, is a very, very rich mantelpiece with so many different trophies. So it all comes down to what is he thinking. I do think going to the US or going to China and being loaned back out again will be the only realistic thing that he could possibly do to make this happen. But what do you guys think? 4215, Ittisalat or slide into the DMs at Omar Duri on the only place to be at 3, Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. I'm your host, covering everything sport, international, local. Couple of shout-outs we got to give out. Shout out to Laith, Tariq. Who else we got? Almas, Murad. You've got Subhi. You've got Florin, Isa. Oh, man. Marvish, Mira, Fatima, Maria. Man, Qasim as well. I can't forget you, Qasim. Or Fahad and Rauda as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys are having a great day wherever you're tuned in around the world. Now, speaking about around the world, what's up, mother-in-law? How you doing, Subi? The talk of yesterday, when I sent in the running order, was not supposed to have Messi on it. And Messi has taken the world by storm by doing that. We're going to get back to that later on in the 4th segment. So if you have any comments or questions, shoot them my way for then. Right now, the question that I have, we're going to go into a little bit of a fitness mode, is what are your goals in the current norm? Now, obviously, with the situation that's happened with the pandemic, a lot of us have been restricted to go out as often as we'd like, respect social distancing, and do all that. Now we've had to do it indoors. Slowly, things are starting to loosen up, but obviously within range. has that affected your goals when it comes down to health and fitness? And what have you done differently? That's my question for you guys today. And are you achieving them? Now, a lot of times we look at 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months based on your specific goals, whether it's weight loss, whether it's muscle gain, or whether it's mental fitness. Now, this has been probably one of the most challenging things that people have had to face, because mentally they've had to be in the right frame of mind to be able to execute physically. And that is something that a lot of us have had to adapt to due to working from home, the current economic situation, and so many different things. But how has that affected you, and what have your goals been in the last 4 months that have been different to pre-lockdown? Now, I say that wherever you are around the world, we're all kind of experiencing very, very similar situations in the fact that, you know, we've had to adapt massively. Some people have invested in equipment at home. Some people prefer to do outdoor things. If you're in the UAE and you're in Sharjah at the moment, the weather is humid. So how have you been able to adapt to that? But also, have you been able to trust the process? Have you been able to, I'd say, look at the situation and make the most out of the current norm, if I say that? Because at the moment now, obviously, you know, there's so much going on. We've been very, very fortunate enough to have the Reset program online until recently, where we took it back into the facility. However, saying that, what have you done differently? And how much of it has it been mental fitness compared to the physical fitness, where before we used to be open to going to any spaces, training wherever we want, and obviously in as many numbers as you want. If you were doing a class, you can go up to 30 or 40 or 50 people in a class. Now it's been brought down, so the numbers have been restricted. You know, Florin is saying, like I said after reading your book, I've run 400 miles and I'm now 14 stone. Brilliant. Fantastic. So with you, Florin, let us know what you did to get to that level, and also how much of it was mentally. Because at the moment now, it's very easy to put things back or say, I'll do it later. And that's for all of us, including myself. But on the show the other day, I spoke about overtraining. So you see, there has to be a very, very thin line between being able to balance the books. Almas says, after my MCL injury and the pandemic, my immediate goal is getting back to my pre-injury fitness. Very, very good. You see, so realistic goals. How long have you set yourself to do that? And what are you doing to be able to get into that frame of mind? That's why mental fitness is so important at the moment, because it allows you to be able to prepare everything in your mind before you set out to do it physically. And that's where you're in control. Especially having worked in Africa, I realized a lot about myself, about the people I was working with, because I was more grateful due to the lack of resources, you could say, but never the lack of mentality with the athletes I worked with. And that was something that, without the fancy equipment, without the great facilities that we're honored to have and such a pleasure to have, we still got the job done. So that's why I kind of look at that and I think, wherever you go, you can work. You can be able to adapt as long as you have a plan, and as long as you take the 5 domino system into your grasp and you recover at the same time of resetting your environment, training the body, training the mind, and fueling the body. And those are the 5 dominoes we speak about a lot on the Halftime Show. But I want to know, what were your goals in the last 4 months? Are you en route to achieving them? And what will it take for you to get to where you need to get to? 4215 Itasalat or do, or slide into the DMs at Omar Duri on Instagram. And I'll see you right after this.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
Salam and welcome back to the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. I'm your host, covering everything sport, international, local. I've got to actually give a couple of shout outs. And you know what? I like saying happy birthdays on here, which we did with Super Mario earlier. So again, Mario, if you're listening, happy birthday, Super Mario. I also like to give anniversary shout outs. So happy anniversary to Haja and Rawan, who are regular listeners on the Halftime Show from the UK. Happy anniversary. There you go. You got it there and there. And also, thank you for everyone who's tuned in. We've got Subhi from Canada. You've got Flo from Texas, as he says. You've got, wow, Isa in the UAE. Almas, obviously, who was on the show recently, and everyone else, and Saad as well from the UAE. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Now, one of the things that's obviously taken the news. What's up, Aisha and Maz? What's up, Gabby? One of the things that's taken the news recently has been the amount of trouble that some of these athletes are getting into. Now, before lockdown, we had, one of the best footballers, entertainers in the planet to ever exist, Ronaldinho, get jailed for a fake passport. I don't honestly know, if you're Ronaldinho, how you would get away with a fake passport. But anyway, he's been released, but he's been in jail for 5 months in Paraguay. Now, looking at that, he was released on Monday, and it was because of a forged passport. His brother's also been released as well. But I look at these footballers and I think, why on earth, and especially Ronaldinho, for those that know how he looks, why on earth would you try and forge your passport? Then I see someone else in Harry Maguire. United fans, what do you make of the news that Harry Maguire has been given a suspended prison sentence for assault and attempted bribery? He's been suspended for 21 months, and his team have said they will appeal. Now, Harry Maguire has been given a prison sentence of 21 months and 10 days after being found guilty of aggravated assault, resisting arrest, and repeated attempts of bribery. The sentence will be suspended because it's a first offense and charges were misdemeanors. His team have said they will appeal. How does this get out, and how do you put yourself in that situation? Now, athletes in general are targeted. What is going on here? I've got all these people where I think, why would you put yourself, especially if you're Harry Maguire, you're a tall centre back, you're in the England lineup, or you were until the situation. There's so many, mad things happening. So why would you try and put yourself on the firing line? Tariq Tumtum, our new Man City signings from out of this world, 2 hours to go. City Twitter account official. Could that mean, and you might be hearing it here first, that Lionel Messi will sign for Manchester City? I don't think United will take captaincy off him, even though I'd love for him to be vice-captain and Bruno skipper. Yes, I agree with you, Roman, on that one. Harry Maguire has been in a bit of trouble recently, especially on holiday, and that's something that's quite disappointing for the athlete, but also his attempted bribery and his comments of saying, do you know who I am? I'm a Manchester United captain and I earn a lot of money. Probably not going to do you any favours with that kind of comment. Embarrassing as a United fan. I'm not happy. Samir Ghanem, all the way from the UK as well, ex-KFA, is in the building, and he is saying, what's up? When you earn $1 million a month, you should not allow yourself to be in an environment where you could have, I'm not going to say the word, but have those people around you. So yeah, plenty of things here. I'm really disappointed that Manchester United defender Harry Maguire has put himself in some trouble. Again, as a coach and someone who's been in the industry, you never want to see players almost bite at a potential hazard. And this was something that, for one reason or another, it turned into a fight, which then turned into arrest, which then turned into a bribery. And that's really, really sad for Harry Maguire. You look at people like that and you wonder, firstly, if you're with your family, everyone deserves a break. You're going to go away, but just, try to stay away from it. What happened? Obviously, the details weren't all there. 1 million fine would do, as he said, from Florian. But I remember Eric Cantona getting suspended. I believe it was for 9 months after kicking a fan, which obviously is a lot different because it was on the pitch, but the suspension was high. You had Suarez who got suspended. How harsh will the Premier League, will Manchester United be in suspending the player if he's already under, this much punishment? Will they suspend him or will they support him? And will that be a turning point in his career? A lot to think about. He should not play. Fines don't mean anything to $1 million athletes. Very good point, Almas. I definitely agree with you on that. And that's kind of the whole point. You try and figure out what is going on with these people and why are they, allowing these things to happen. Massive things. What do you guys think? What's up, Layla? 4215 Itasalat Urdu. Does Harry Maguire deserve the punishment, and how severe will the punishment be if he's suspended for 2 years? Let us know. 4215 or slide into the DMs at Omar Al-Duri, and I'll be back right after this. One Love by Blue. Peace.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. I am your host, covering everything sport, international, local. Hope you're having a blessed day wherever you're tuned in around the world, whether it's 95 FM, Pulse95Radio.com, our app, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority, or even if you're in the comfort of your very own home, watching us on YouTube live streaming on Pulse 95 Radio. Thank you very much for tuning in. And thank you for contributing to today's show. Shout out to Terry, Tariq Tamtam, Almas, Florin, Subhi, Saad, Fatima, Maria, and everyone else. And Qasim as well. I didn't forget you, Qasim. And everyone else who is tuned in. And Florin, we got Florin from Texas. We've got Subhi from Canada. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. And some of the comments I've had is regarding the show and what are your goals in the current norm, and have you mapped them out? With the current pandemic situation, we've been restricted somewhat, but have you set 3-month goals, 6-month goals, or 9-month goals? That was the first question I had. And also, the topic of the day, which everyone's going crazy over, is where will Messi end up? And will that strategy of getting the president out work for him to stay at Barcelona, or has he got his hands so dirty that he can't turn it around? A couple of stories I want to focus on. Luka Doncic. I know Big Hass, he's a big fan of NBA, and he was talking to me about that the other day. Now, one of the feelings that's probably like that crazy feeling when you score a winner. And Luka Doncic scored a dream winner for Dallas Mavericks versus the LA Clippers. I think it's every kid's dream to be able to score that nice jump shot, or a nice three-pointer from an angle, from far out, and the buzzer goes right as it goes right through the net. Swish. And that's what Luka Doncic did the other night. And I was really, really happy for him. He described it as that was something special, one of the best feelings I've ever had as a player, just something special. Now, at one point over the weekend, it looked doubtful that Doncic would even step on the floor for Game 4 of the Dallas Mavericks Round 1 playoff series against the LA Clippers, and the 21-year-old had been nursing an ankle sprain. Shout out to Terry for that one. And he actually stepped on the pitch, stepped on the court, and still managed to get the winner. When was the last time you saw something like that? What made you feel like that? Text us on 4215 Itasalat Urdu, or slide into our DMs and let us know. When was the last time someone made you feel like there was ecstasy on the court, on the pitch, or even in any sport you were involved in? That's what I want to know. What's up, Ala? All the way from Saudi, tuned in as well. I've got a couple of comments here. Shout out to Daily Blind, who had a pacemaker scare. Yes, that is correct. Absolutely right. Daily Blind was playing a friendly for Ajax and collapsed on the pitch, and we wish him and his family all the best. Hopefully they will recover very, very soon. You never want to hear that, especially when it comes down to athletes, because they're human beings at the end of the day, and it's something that I particularly, have a soft spot for. Right, that's one thing. Guys, remember, you can catch us every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 3 to 4. If you have missed the show and you're kicking yourself, you can catch us on the podcast on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Anghami. Just type in The Halftime Show with Omar Duri, and we are there. Or even if you prefer a visual, head over to the YouTube channel, Pulse 95 Radio. I thought my tongue twisting was done. And then you can also always check out the shows. Gabby and Super Mario do a great job. Happy birthday to Super Mario, and happy anniversary to Rawan and Haja. Have an incredible day.
The Heart of Sharjah. This is Pulse 95.
Heart of Sharjah.